Alright, a few of you wanted to know what would happen or made some predictions regarding if I put a small 1/18th scale motor into a 1/10th scale car. So just wanted to read some of the predictions that people made about the 2440 motor in my 1/10th scale mongoose. So one of these posts that I've put up on Facebook was, yeah, we'll soon be putting a small 18th scale motor in my mongoose, and what was everyone's predictions. So just read some of them here. So Shane says if you gear it wrong, it will burn out. He is absolutely right. Rowan says might move it around, but have doubts about that will happen. Okay. Troy says why, or asks why. And yeah, I've got a few reasons and you'll find them out later. Rowan says, I see a headache getting drive gears to mesh well as well. Okay, Roger says it's going to overheat. Okay, Corey says motor shaft gone bye-bye in 2 pieces. Okay, that can happen if you have a small motor shaft and too much load. So Robert says I won't have the torque. We'll see about that, Robert. Mark says it's not the size that counts, it's what you do with it. Like Mark's response, he's very right in that. Chris says meshing the gears will be a struggle and it will burn out as not made to push a 1/10. So I think traditionally he'd be right, though I have done a few special things which you'll soon see. Jay says my prediction, short experiment. So yeah, basically saying it's gonna burn out or something's gonna go wrong pretty quickly. Mina says, hope that I pronounced his name right, motor mount won't fit. So kind of have made it fit, but yeah, typically they're not designed for that size motor. So anyway, let's go to another group here. Made the same post in the HSP RC group. So let's go to all comments. Adrian says, the motor looks tiny. You'll just burn the motor because the car is too big for it. You will need a 540 motor. Okay, I expected that response. Glenn says, I look forward to seeing it run. Thanks, Glenn. Hopefully I'll be posting a video shortly. Done some filming already. Daniel says, fire. Okay. Benjamin says, I reckon it will just keep cogging and burn out, but would love to be proven wrong. Okay, thanks, Ben. Kevin says, well, with the correct gearing, it will run the car. But why? It's underpowered motor for the size of the car. Well, I guess that's what traditionally you'd think, though I think I might surprise him. Stephen says, cooked ESC and motor for 10th scale needs a 540 brushless and 36XX, which is basically a 540 size brushless, 36mm in diameter, 36XX series motor for brushless, and then big fire. Okay, Stephen. David says a 380 size brushless will work. Was running one in a slash years ago and it kept up with everything on the track. Yeah. So the thing about brushless motors is they're very power dense. So if you gear them correctly, yeah, you can take advantage of the higher RPM and power and overcome the low initial torque with gearing. So what did I write? Alright, this is much smaller than a 380. So yeah, a 380 motor is a 2838 in size. So, and I'm running a 2440. So yeah, although nice story, yes, with the right kV gearing and voltage, you could definitely make it work well and without cogging, without overheating or cogging. So yeah, so I think that's the comments there. I don't think I got any comments on those ones. Oh yeah, just by the way, that's the this is the little HSP that I ran with the same motor a while ago, and yeah, it was awesome. So anyway, yeah. Hey everyone, just wanted to explain what I'm doing with my two-wheel drive Mongoose build. So I've got this really tiny motor. Yeah, it's a 2440 size, and yeah, I let everyone know in the Facebook group that I was going to try it in this 1/10 scale car and kind of ask for everyone's predictions, what they thought. And a lot of people said it's gonna burn, it might move it probably overheat it, yeah, might not have enough torque to get it going. Yeah, but I'll just kind of explain what I'm doing and the reason I'm doing it. So the thing is, I've actually cheekily already run this car on that motor before I even posted that. Though I kind of just jerry-rigged it up, though now I got everything I need to do it properly. So I'll first address a couple of things. So what I was running before was these 550 brushed motors. So these motors are rated to about 200 watts. But how they work is they've got quite a large amount of torque, and the torque drops off very, very quickly due to the inefficiency of the motors, the resistance from the brushes and so forth. This motor is, even though it's much smaller, is actually way more power dense. So it's actually rated to 400 watts. But how they work is they have a much smaller initial torque than these large brush motors, but they're a lot more efficient. So as the RPM increases, the torque doesn't drop nearly as quickly. So therefore the power, which is a combination of the torque and the RPM, since it's still making a large amount of its torque in the higher RPM, therefore the power is much higher. However, if you try to run one of these motors with similar gearing as that, yes, you probably will burn it out, or it'll possibly start cogging, just because you do need that initial torque. So there are a couple of things that I've taken into mind with this. First of all, you've probably noticed, let's get it to focus. Oh, come on. There we go. This is a 3000 kV motor. So that's actually very low kV for this particular size. So a lot of these motors, these small ones, because they're designed to run on 2S battery in a lightweight vehicle, they're usually around about 5,000, 6,000, even 7,000 kV, which is going to give you a lot of top-end power, especially on a 2S. But yeah, it's if you have the gearing too high or in a vehicle too heavy, it's definitely going to cog and definitely going to struggle. So I've actually had one of these motors, these 3000 kV motors, in a 1/16 all-wheel drive car. And the reason I chose this motor was I wanted something that was very reliable, but would mimic the standard 390 motor in there, which gave me a lot of kind of just low end control and torque. And yeah, not cog when I go in grass or anything like that, and it did that beautifully. It was even better than the brush motor. And yeah, so I actually got this motor, this new one, by mistake. The seller sent me this one instead of a 2445, which I bought for my nephew's 1/12 scale car. So, but yeah, I just wanted to, see if it worked in this. And yeah, initial testing, yeah, it actually does go quite well, but I did do a couple of things. So yeah, as I was saying, if you use this antenna tube inside the pinion gear, it is a way of converting it from 3.175 millimeter to fit on a 2.3 millimeter shaft. So that's what I was doing. And how I was running this motor was actually using this this aircraft ESC. So obviously not the most ideal. Doesn't have brake, doesn't have reverse, and I had to do a whole bunch of wizardry with setting the trim and sub trims to work on a pistol grip controller, because it's kind of designed for a stick where you just have throttle right down at the bottom of the stick, and then you have to push it up, opposed to a pistol grip which is in the middle. But anyway, yeah, no, it actually worked. I've run this motor on up to 4S on this, so, but obviously not having brake, not having reverse. Also the BEC on this was is very, very low, so it didn't do a good job of powering the full size servo. So now I bought this 4S ESC. So seems a bit overkill, but that's kind of the cheapest 4S car ESC I could find. I'll probably take the fan off because I won't need it. It's like, this motor is rated for about 30 amps, so even if you're running it on 4S full load, it's only going to pull about 30 amp. This is rated to 80 amp. Did get a little warm on this, as in the ESC got warm. The motor was actually good, but yeah, like, this is no fan, no cooling. Yeah, it's not really designed for even a motor as large as that. It's kind of meant for a smaller outrunner motor. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, another thing, I made up these 3.5 to 4 millimeter bullet connectors. As you see, these have got 3.5. These are 4 millimeter, so yeah, just needed an adapter, so I soldered these up myself. And yeah, well, that's what I'll be doing. All right, thanks. Okay guys, wanted to show you a comparison of the 2440 size motor with the new pinion gear on versus, here we go, my Mongoose with the standard 3652 size motor, which I've got a 30-tooth pinion gear on. So first thing I forgot to mention is, yeah, the pinion gear that I got is actually a Traxxas pinion gear that goes on one of their 1/16 scale crawlers. I think it's, I forget the model number, but it actually has a 2.3 millimeter bore, so it fits straight onto the shaft without any problems. and yeah, it's a 48 pitch. So yeah, it meshes beautifully. So yeah, I've kind of, how I usually set up my meshes by feel. So you don't want it too tight. You want a tiny bit of movement. So usually I hold this and then, yeah, see, you just got that tiny bit of movement. Same with this one here. Hold on. Yeah, like that. So yeah, you don't want that kind of rubbing noise or binding up or that, but you want it to be close, but still be really free. So yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, so that's what I'm running on that. So yeah, interesting enough, this larger 3652 size motor is actually 3300 kV. Why this, I'll just kind of get rid of this. Look how small this looks, guys. Tiny. This is actually a lower kV. It's 3000 kV. And given the 18 tooth pinion, yeah, this one on a 32 tooth on 2S does about, well, just right on 60 kilometers an hour, and theoretically should do 90 on 3S. I haven't had it over 100 kilometers an hour, but that was on a 3800 kV motor. So this one theoretically should do about 90 with this pinion on 3S. This one on 2S, the theoretical speed should be just over 30 kilometers an hour on 2S and just under 50, so maybe like 47 to 49 kilometers an hour on 3S. And on 4S, yeah, probably mid 60s, but given the size of the motor, and by that time you'd probably be reaching your you know, your kind of peak you know, power. It'd probably struggle to get 60. It might get 60 on 4S. Yeah, so the reason I'm also wanting to run high voltage as well is, yeah, just for that initial torque and initial off the line as well. So this motor, it's 3000 kV. It's running low gearing. It absolutely can run 4S. It's designed to run 4S, and that's why I'm kind of also putting it in this. So normally this motor, like I said, you put it a 6000 kV 2440, run it on 2S, have normal gearing, not a chance. It's gonna burn it out, it's gonna cog. But yeah, given the combination that it is 3000 kV, lower gearing, as well as being 4S, is going to give it the most amount of initial torque that it can to, yeah, power this 10 scale car. Another thing, this is only 2-wheel drive, so it doesn't require as much torque to get it going as a proper 4-wheel drive 1/10 scale car. So yeah, anyway, well, there you go, and that's kind of what I've got running. Yeah, another thing, I'm only using one motor mount because I can't fit another one on there. It kind of looks like I can given the camera angle, but yeah, unless I kind of shave off that plate, I can't get another one in. But I will have a heat sink running on the bottom of this as well, just to give it that a little bit of extra support so it doesn't move around as much either. So there you go. All right, a few of you wanted to know what would happen or made some predictions regarding if I put a small 1/18 scale motor into a 1/10 scale car. Some of you said the motor would burn up. Some of you said that, you know, it won't be able to really do anything. It might start cogging, let it fry, or won't go very far or fast. But yeah, it looks like today we're going to find out. Right, got the speed meter on there. So yeah, just kind of went out here, so it's got 7 kilometers an hour on it. But yeah, we're going to do a speed run and just see how it goes. Let's see what we got. So we got 58 kilometers an hour. Yeah. And I was even doing wheelies on this like tiny little motor. See how hot it is? I can hold it. Not even hurting my hand. It's not even warm. Such a little motor can make this wheelies and go almost 60k. Let's see if I can actually go a bit faster. If I trim it up a bit better. Trim it to the right a little bit, or to the left. There we go, that was a bit straighter. There we go. 68.6 kilometers. There we go. So yeah, not bad on a little 1/18th scale motor. So there you go. Alright, that's it. There you go. It's just kind of just. Alright, so yeah, just wanted to show you kind of the reason I had this 2440 size motor in this mongoose. So part of the reason I'm putting such a small motor in this is typically these vehicles, they have a tendency to understeer as soon as you get on the power because all the weight is at the back. So having a small motor at the back, yeah, kind of changes the weight balance, kind of makes it a bit more like a mid-motor buggy in terms of balance and handling, and I'll just kind of do a demo of that now. Taking these large corners at speed. Has a lot more turning. I'll just take this corner. Yeah, so with the anyway, I think that kind of helps demonstrate things a little bit. Now, I don't have to have the power up all the way. I can just have the power up to whatever I feel like it. Then I'll turn the power down. Maybe there. Yeah, so anyway, Hope that helps demonstrate it. Anyway, yeah, thanks. So I'll just kind of show you what's underneath here. What I've done here. Kind of, yeah. So not only do I have a small motor on the back, and it's kind of it's a bit warm now. But yeah, I've kind of put this is on 4S. I've yeah, put the battery right at the front. So yeah, the intention, you can run 4S, but probably you wouldn't want to run it for a whole pack. So you can turn the power down on this as well to yeah, which I probably end up doing, just to around about 40 or 50 kilometers an hour, and yeah, it should be pretty efficient. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.